So, do you guys believe in miracles? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in witchcraft? Well, I don't know, but I don't believe in those things. Mainly because I have no solid reason to. Because I've met people who like believe in witchcraft, and they're like, "Hey, bro, you should, I once saw a guy turning into a snake, or this chick once turned into a cat or something." I've never personally had such experiences, or I've heard of stories where people are like, "Hey, man, my mom died because she was, because of a witch. A witch did something to my mom and she died." And they believe. So I don't know, but the stories are quite wacky. They're quite out there, to be honest. So I don't know, but it's one of those things that I'm gonna believe if they happen to me. It's one of those things that you don't believe unless it really happens to you. But I do not have a solid reason to believe in those stories. The best argument I've ever heard against witchcraft, the best argument is, why don't they ever, put a spell on the president? Because I'm sure many people hate the president, or anyone who's like, anyone famous. Why don't you put a spell on them? It's always like, hey, my grandma had this and this done to her. Like, we just came out of the elections. I'm sure many people didn't want our current president to win. Why didn't they work on him? Why didn't they make him turn into a cat or something? Because if it really works, they would have. I'm pretty sure one person must have gone to a witch or a wizard and like, hey, can you turn the president into a snake? Because I don't want him to win. And I am willing to bet someone did that. I'm willing to bet. Yeah. Why don't they work on? Why don't they do that to like someone who's in power, someone like the president? Why? Because maybe maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. Like, I'm really starting to believe that there's nothing that can, because those stories clearly defy logic and the laws of the science. You can't listen. You can break human-made laws. You can break man-made laws. You can kill someone. You're not supposed to kill, but you can kill. You can steal someone. You can fuck someone's wife. You can do all that because those are human laws and you can break them. But the laws of science, the laws of physics, you can never break them. No matter what you want. No, it doesn't matter. You cannot go faster than the speed of light. Does not matter. If you jump, you're gonna come back down. It's just a law. It's just how it is. It's the law. It's a physical law. It's unbreakable. You can't do anything about it. I actually had an interesting conversation with a friend at some point. He was saying that aeroplanes break the law of gravity because they're defying gravity. I mean, it's interesting. Initially, like, yeah, they're flying. They're going through the air. They're not falling down. But are they really breaking the law of gravity? Because gravity is still acting on a plane. I mean, it just has lift, which counteracts gravity. Anyway, I'm getting a little too sciencey here, so you can call me Professor Nanjero for today. But I don't know. I don't believe in those things. I don't believe in witchcraft. I don't. I haven't found compelling evidence to believe in those things. To believe that someone somewhere, it's always some old witch in a little grass hut, with some the skull of a cow or something, and some smoke, and then she says some random chants, and then that is enough to kill someone somewhere, or that is enough to or that's enough apparently to make someone eat grass. Really? Is it? I'm not convinced. Unless I find myself eating grass, then then I'm gonna be like, whoa, okay, maybe there's something to this. But I don't know. I just it's not convincing enough for me, at least. Or rather, I haven't experienced. Maybe, listen, maybe if I experience it directly, if I find myself eating grass one day and running in the streets naked, I'll know that I'm either high or a witch has, cast a spell on me. That's how I'll know. But these things are weird. Because I also it's so strange because I also don't believe in ghosts. But I remember about 1 month ago, I happened to be walking through, well, not through, but just next to a cemetery. It was like 11 p.m. at night. I don't believe in ghosts, but yo, that was really scary. Like, just looking at the weird, shadowy, the weird, shadowy silhouettes of the gravestones. I don't know, and then there's so many of them, and you're like, oh my god, this is scary. Like, what if what if a zombie? Because all I could think about was a zombie like putting its arm through like the soil and then coming up, and then big, I want brain, and then I start running. That's all I could think. It's scary to think. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I don't believe in those things. I don't think zombies exist. They obviously don't. I don't think ghosts exist, but there's something scary about walking through a cemetery at night. There's something very scary about that. Even though I know that deep down there's nothing to be scared of. They're all dead. No one's gonna come through the soil like a zombie. I want brains. Why do zombies always want brains? Why do they I think a thigh would be tastier, right? Like, why do you eat brains? A brain is disgusting. Have you ever seen a brain? It's just this disgusting, gooey piece of meat that's pink and weird. I think if I was a zombie, I'd eat thighs. Ooh, nice thighs, yeah. And ass. Okay, I already. Okay, fine. But yeah, I don't believe in those things, but I was scared. I was scared, and I guess there's a part of us there's a part in every one of us that's irrational. We have this fear of the unknown. We all kind of do, because we don't know. I mean, even if you're walking through a forest and you're assured that nothing's gonna attack you, you're just scared that someone's watching you. Someone's up in a tree, or something is up in a tree, just lurking, stealthily in the darkness, awaiting to pounce on your head and to eat you, even though maybe you're sure there's nothing. There's nothing. You're even scared in your house sometimes if you live in a big house. Have you ever been in a big house and then you hear the wind just blowing through the hallway, like it's it's really scary, and it's even scarier when the wind blows and then you hear a door, like, and the wind then opens a door, like, it's really scary, and then you have to wake up and pretend that you're not scared, like, who's there? And then it's just the wind. It's just nothing. But yeah, I'd like to see such things, just to I've never had those supernatural experiences. I've never had them. I wish I'd experienced them so I could. But maybe here, listen, I'm not saying I'm right. Maybe those things exist. I just haven't experienced them yet. I just haven't seen them yet. Maybe I'll see them and then I'll be like, yo, witchcraft definitely exists, or ghosts definitely exist. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I just haven't experienced them yet. And I'd love to see a ghost. As scary as it would be, as creepy as, I would probably shit my pants, but I'd love to see a ghost. I'd love to. Do they talk? What do ghosts do? Does it just stand there? That would be so scary yet so fascinating and amazing. I mean, at the moment it would be like really scary, but maybe after that we'll be like, whoa, what the hell was that? And then you know that no one would believe you if you told them the story. You saw a ghost in your house. It was cooking eggs. No one would believe you. Would you eat those eggs? I don't know. I would. I wouldn't eat the eggs. But yeah, there's those ghosts and miracles. What is a miracle? I don't know about miracles. I just think some things happen. I just think amazing things happen, and maybe that's why we call them miracles. Like impossible things happen in life. Like let's say a homeless guy goes from like being that poor, like just eating, from the trash, and then that guy becomes a millionaire. By all means, I agree that's a miracle. But I don't think there's like any supernatural, influence behind him becoming successful. I just think it's luck, and maybe the guy knows how to run a business somehow. I don't know. But there's stories like that, from rags to riches. They're labeled as miracles. But I know miracles are more like supernatural things. Like, hey, what's a nice miracle? Like, hey, this guy, let's say someone has like terminal cancer. He's definitely gonna die. And then, he goes to church, and then the pastor prays for him, and then he's healed. That's a miracle. Is it really? I don't know. I haven't experienced it directly. I don't know. How can you explain that? Like, but by definition, that is a miracle. That is a miracle. But I don't believe in those per se. Listen, I don't know how they happen. I don't know how someone can go from having like AIDS to like being cured by someone praying for them. I don't know. I just see those stories on TV. I don't even know if they're real. But those are miracles. Those are what people call miracles. But here's what I think. I think the real miracles, the true miracles in life, are in nature. Because if you look to like, just nature is full of amazing miracles. Like, look at insects. How the hell can an insect fly? Do you ever like think about those things? Like, what is it like to be a bee? What does it think about? Like, how bees behave? How ants? You ever see a tiny little ant walking around, and then it sees a grain of sugar, and then it picks it up? How does it know that's food? How do they interact? That's a miracle. How the hell does a bee fly? Can someone answer this? Like, how does a bee fly? To just give you like perspective on how difficult, on how amazing it is for an insect to fly. Just try creating a small little robot the size of a bee that can fly with that accuracy. Or even a housefly. How does it fly? I mean, I know it has wings and all, but how does it control? Because its movements are so fine. Like, if you try to like swat a housefly, good luck. You'd be very lucky to be able to hit it. Because this thing sees your hand coming, it then flies away in a manner that you can't hit it. So this thing must have a supercomputer of a brain to be able to react that fast to your hand. Like, think about the whole thing. It's amazing. It's just it's insane. To me, that's a miracle. Like, how such insects, nature, how you and I came to be. I think that's a miracle. Like, because at some point, you and I, we were just one cell. And now we are made of, I think, definitely billions of cells. How does that happen? How do we go from one cell, this thing that cannot think, does not have emotions, does not have dreams, hopes, and then it develops into this incredibly complex human being with dreams, with hopes, that loves, that thinks, very complex, that has a job. Well, I don't, but some of you do. But you know what I mean? Like, how do we go from one cell to, how did I go from one cell to what I am now, to this conscious being that thinks, that talks to himself on a microphone. How? That is a miracle. I know there's probably some explanation to how that happens out there, but it is amazing. That amazes me. Like, I cannot get over how amazing that is. That is incredible that it's even possible for, like, from one cell to this thing. How am I even conscious? How do I think? What is the brain? How do brains work? That is a miracle. Like, how do I enjoy music? Music. Do you ever get that feeling? You know that feeling I'm talking about when you're listening to, like, this good, like, amazing music. There's a feeling you get inside, like, whoa, this is amazing. Like, that feeling that you get, that feeling of awe, that feeling of, like, just wonder. What is that? How am I able to feel that? I think the true miracles, to me, the true miracles in life are feelings. Because how are we able to feel? I mean, we know, because I think scientists know, like, how chemicals interact with each other in the brain, and this is how you can see, this is how you can hear. But one of the biggest questions is, how does sound become music? How does sight become, like, how does a smell become? Because have you ever smelled something and then it reminds you of your childhood? Do you know what I mean? How does that happen? Because, I mean, smell is just molecules going into your nose, and I don't know much about this, but then, it's just molecules and then they go into your nose. But how does it evoke emotion? Because I've had, like, the most random smells. They remind me of something so deep and profound. I almost cry. It's something so deep about myself. So it gives me a memory of my childhood, or how my mom would, like, cook, for me on a Saturday, or, like, but those feelings, they just come from a smell, from a molecule floating in the air. How does that happen? And that's a miracle. like, I mean, the fact that it happens means that there is most likely an explanation. I mean, someone must have figured out how that happens, or someone must be in the process of figuring out how all this happens. But if you just think about it, it's amazing. What do dogs think about? What is love? What is love? Just think, what is love? Love is this feeling that you get. Like, when you're in love, nothing else matters. The only thing that matters to you is the object of your lover is the only thing that matters. And then love makes the world seem like such a better, like, the world is a much better place when you're in love. So what are these feelings? And to me, those are miracles. And it's all in nature, which is amazing. The people say that we're related to trees, and do trees love? Do they have feelings? Maybe they do. Can you imagine a tree? Maybe a tree is screaming internally for you to just, when a guy is almost like chopping it down with an axe, maybe a tree is just there screaming internally, please don't chop me. I'll produce fruit. I'll produce a mango. But wow, life is full of miracles, magic, because magic is not real, but it's a trick. It's just, but a really good magic trick. Some of the best magic tricks are those that leave you thinking or wondering, like, how is that even possible? Like, you can't even begin to piece together how that guy even began to do that. That's a good magic trick. It's just a trick, but on the face of it, it might as well be a miracle. There's an explanation. There's always an explanation behind it, but those are some of the things that that I think about. Miracles. Wow. It's an amazing world, huh? Like, how life just came about. The fact that you and I are here, We are the sperm that won. Can you can you imagine if another sperm won that race? You wouldn't be here. You would not exist. Really. No, I'm serious. You would not exist. If another sperm won that race, you would not be here. I would be talking to someone else. How freaking amazing is that? That you made it out of millions. I'm sure like 100 million sperms are produced, I think. But you made it and you're here. Think about the the amazing chances that led to your existence. Like if your parents didn't meet, let's say your parents met in school. Yeah. Let's say your parents met in school. What if your dad went to another school? You would not have existed. There would be someone else. That would not have been you. Because you are the specific you would not exist. Did you know what I mean? Like you would not exist if your dad went to another school. Assuming they met in school. Assuming they met in school or whatever they met. Maybe they met in a hospital. If your dad went to another hospital or your mom went to another hospital, you definitely would not exist. And just thinking about the the contingencies leading up to our existence, you just go outside and you're like, wow, you know what? As horrible as the world is, I'm happy. I'm happy to exist. It's a beautiful place. Have a nice day. Thank you for listening.